In 1981, a kid from rural Mexico made his debut for the Dodgers. He went on to win his first 8 starts, win Rookie of the Year, and eventually lead his team to a World Series victory. That kid was Fernando Valenzuela. Valenzuela isn't just culturally relevant for his stats, it's because he bridged the gap between Mexican Americans and the Dodgers, especially after what the Dodgers did to their community. There are many great videos on this topic, but today I think there is potentially a massive opportunity for something similar to what happened 45 years ago. What if I told you that there is a legitimate shot for Fernando Mania 2.0 to happen north of the border? It's about a heartbroken team and a diaspora that has received a multitude of backlash. You see, in 2023, the Toronto Blue Jays made a move that may have not only made them Canada's team, but potentially the most popular team in the world. With the 20th pick in the 2023 MLB draft,
the Toronto Blue Jays select Arjun Nimmala.
Disclaimer, this has not happened yet, and may not happen. We don't know how good Nimmala will be. He is very young, as he's only 20 years old, but has shown flashes of potential. In 120 games in 2025, he hit .224 with the single-A Vancouver Canadians. He also hit 13 home runs, 61 RBIs, and 17 stolen bases. With AA New Hampshire currently, he's played in 18 games and hit .308 with .375 on-base percentage and .744 OPS, with 3 stolen bases. Again, these are not eye-popping stats, but he's only 20 and is drastically improved from single-A to AA. If he does get called up, it'll be around 2027, maybe late 2026 if all things go well. By then, Nimmala will come in a tough spot. You see, Canada is currently going through a severe housing crisis that makes America's look free. The economy is in a spiral, and as a result, many Canadians are using Indian immigrants as scapegoats as they're coming in droves. About 30% of new permanent residents in Canada are of Indian descent. That being said, I think we can debate immigration numbers without resorting to racism. Now, I'm an American, they see, and while I might be brown, I don't know what it's like to live in Canada. I could recite statistics, but I asked 2 Canadians instead, Styler Productions and Charlie ND, to get a true understanding of the situation. Now, of course, this isn't meant to be a political video, but it's important to understand what type of climate Nimmala will be playing in, just like how Chavez Ravine tells Valenzuela. That being said, take it away, Charlie.
In many Canadian cities, Indians are a very noticeable minority. I see enough of them for them to be noticeable, but they're definitely not the most prominent minority group. If I order on a food delivery app like Uber Eats, there's about an 80% chance that the person delivering my food is going to be Indian, though. There is an undeniable growing resentment towards new Indian immigrants in Canada. Canada has always had a decent amount of Indian immigrants, and there have always been some racial tensions, but never to the extent of what we're seeing today. There has been an undeniably noticeable rise in anti-Indian sentiment in recent years, both online and in real life. A lot of this stems from people wanting a scapegoat to blame for the high housing prices, but I think it has more to do with the fact that our cities aren't building enough housing and different types of housing to begin with.
Canada has a housing crisis, and I don't know how to fix it. But what I do know is that Nimmala is the 56th best prospect in all of MLB. He's the 2nd best in the Blue Jays system, and is a key piece to the future, especially with Bo Bichette gone and Andres Jimenez being flexible. While he is behind JoJo Parker, another shortstop, Nimmala is rising fast in the ranks. And these are Parker's stats, by the way. You can compare them and see who's the better player. But anyway, the important point is Arjun looks like us. He plays cricket, he went to India in the summer to visit relatives like I did as a kid, and he's not automatically going to take over my love for a guy like Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, or Colson Montgomery, but he is absolutely up there. I usually don't care about a player's ethnic background, but it feels different, and
South Asians make up the largest minority group in Toronto. However, a lot of them are relatively new to Canada and have little to no exposure to baseball. Having a prominent Indian player on the team could encourage more of them to get into the sport.
This part could be outdated, but the Blue Jays, after what we saw in 2025, don't seem to be heading towards rebuilding territory. They just lost in 7, and that too in heartbreaking fashion. But that being said, Vladdy's locked in. He's not being moved. We also got introduced to Addison Barger, Nathan Lukes, Ernie Clement, and Trey Savage, who's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. And in free agency, they went all in. Kazumo Okamoto, Dylan Cease, Cody Ponce, Tyler Rogers. They'll likely be in contention by the time Nimmala enters, around 2027 or 28. Heck, they'll potentially have won a World Series, or at least have played in one. The Blue Jays, as of now, do stand below 500. Well, let's see what Charlie has to say.
I'm actually pretty confident the Blue Jays have a chance of returning to the World Series. The fact that they managed to get there last year with their bullpen issues makes me confident they can do so again in 2026. It's not going to be easy though. A lot of teams in the AL have improved over the offseason, but I'm hopeful the team has another AL championship in them, and hopefully another World Series championship as well.
Charlie's right. The Yankees, Rays, Guardians, and Red Sox are staying in this conversation. The O's look to reload. The Tigers could potentially and probably will rebound. The A's look to be in a good spot. Even my Chicago White Sox are doing really good. But as expected, everything should sort itself out by the end of the season. Now again, the Blue Jays could absolutely win the World Series, but preseason odds had the Yankees and Mariners as the two most likely teams to get out of the AL. But once again, they're just preseason odds. They don't really mean anything. Anyway, there's another side to this coin. Any community, regardless of whether it's a racial, ethnic, neurodivergent, tends to be prideful, and there's no doubt about it. It's great seeing someone like you on the big stage, finally getting the proper rep your community deserves. South Asians have tons of pride, myself included, and they finally have a beacon for America's pastime. Arjun breaks the mold of a nerdy kid, doctor, or gas station owner as an athlete, and that's amazing. But there is one issue. I said, we don't know how he'll be, and that's a problem because it will put pressure on him. Heck, this very video is a form of pressure to make him do better, and no kid should deserve that. Nimmala has stated that while it's good to be a first, which, by the way, I will go on a tangent, please stick with me. A lot of people will bring up Kumar Rocker as a first, and rightfully so. He is technically the first player of Indian descent to step on a diamond. It was certainly a historic moment, though. Kumar is a third-gen half Indian American. His maternal grandparents were from India, but his mom was born and raised in the States. His dad is African American. So while it's a historic landmark, Nimmala's first is being a fully Desi baseball player and is the one playing in Canada. But after all, he does play in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Back to the topic. Nimmala stated that while he is proud to be a first, he really just wants to play baseball. Media narratives, though, they have different plans. We've seen this with Jeremy Lin. Lin was a serviceable starter in the NBA, but whenever he played, he just went how he played. But the media had other plans. Because you see, Jeremy Lin was the only Asian American guard in the entire NBA. And he didn't ask to carry the entire weight of a continent on his back. The media forced him to. I mean, every single good night, it was about his race. Every single bad night, it was considered a systemic failure. And that's what I fear might happen to Nimmala. Heck, he might face the exact thing. Baseball is a sport where you're gonna fail around 75% of the time. If he goes through a huge slump, the toxic side of the internet and talk radio won't just treat it like, oh, he's just growing. They will focus on his race. And that, my friends, is the biggest takeaway I want people to get from this video. It's amazing to see Desis being represented on the big stage, and Nimmala won't just bridge the gap between Indo-Canadians and the Jays, but people are already talking about him potentially drawing fans all the way from India. That being said, we don't know how his career will pan out. He could be the next Bo Bichette, or he could be out of the league within a few years. So please, to everyone watching, give him the time and patience needed to grow. And while one should celebrate his heritage, it shouldn't be the focal point. But anyway, thanks for watching, and thank you so much to Stylo Productions and Charlie and D. I genuinely couldn't have done this video without them. Please check out Charlie's channel, and I will see you in the next one.